Tachograph questions, test 2, HGV Professional, Gorey Group. Question 1. What does this symbol represent? Remember, there's 4 symbols. There's the steering wheel. There's the cross hammers is other work. The bed is rest. The steering wheel is drive. And that's the funny one. That's the only funny one, a period of availability. How many types of tachograph are there? It's always the driver's responsibility. It might be the driver and someone else, but it's always the driver. If a driver of a bus finishes a shift at 2 a.m., what was the legal start time of their shift? So you have to go 2 a.m. That's definitely a night shift, isn't it? So minus 10 hours.
And do that calculation right now.
Oh, 2 to 2. 2 to 2 was 12, so you had to add 2 hours to get your 4.
I'm blonde. Give me a break.
Okay. How long does the company need to hold the tachograph data for? So if you leave my company, I still have to hold your data for a year. Why is that?
In case there's any questions.
Sorry?
In case there's any questions as to what you're doing.
If you have an accident, the first thing they're going to do is look at your tachograph to make sure you're taking the proper breaks and the proper rests. But if you've only just joined a company, you've only been working there a week, they can't see anything, can they? So they have to be able to go back to your previous employer and make sure you were taking all the correct rests and breaks there.
Actually, write this one down as a note.
Huh?
We just write that down as a note before you move on.
Okay. So they have to keep your records for 1 year so they can trace your history. When must the new tachograph chart be installed in the tachograph device? Every day. Put a new chart in every day, the same way you put your card in every morning and take it out every night. Who must you contact for a replacement card if your card is lost, stolen, or damaged? Who are you going to call?
Posters.
The maximum time you can drive every day may be extended to 10 hours. How often? Excellent. In hours, what is your regular weekly rest? $56 is the most hours you can drive in a week. Your weekly rest is 45 hours. Could be more, but it's 45 hours. What is the night shift period for the transport of passengers? Yours is 12 to 4. What's buses? What is it for buses? It's 1 to 5. Okay. Trucks, 12 to 4. Buses, 1 to 5. It's an hour later. I have no idea why. How often must the transport operator download data from the vehicle's tachograph device? The device, not the card. The vehicle's tachograph device. That's the actual machine, okay? The answer is 3 months, or it might say 90 days. 3 months or 90 days, okay? Everyone got that wrong. How many hours can you work in a week? Work, not drive, work. You can drive 56 hours in a week. You can work 60 hours in a week. A maximum, should I say, of 60 hours in a week. If a driver did not use a tachograph chart on a new journey, what's the penalty or risk? Loss of license and heavy fines. Rest period of 11 continuous hours every 24-hour work period may be reduced to 9 hours. 2 times a week, once a week, 3 times a week, or never. 3 times a week. How many days of the working week can a driver drive for more than 9 hours? That was the same question as earlier, just worded different, wasn't it?
Worded different.
But this is what I'm talking about. When you do your CPC exams, they just get all wordy on you. So you might have to read the question 2 or 3 times just to understand it. Okay? You can extend your driving twice in a week. Under EU driving hour regulations, what is a day? What a difference a day makes. You know that song? That's the answer. 24 little hours. 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. Maximum break time taken following a driving period. Suckers. 45 minutes is the minimum time, isn't it? Yes, no.
Yeah.
Yes, you must take at least 45 minutes. You can take as long as you want, as long as your boss doesn't sack you. What should a driver do with a car that has malfunctioned? Return to employer, return to the depot of transport, return to the RSA, or return to the National Road Service. Who issued the card? RSA, that's who you send it back to. There's a form you have to fill out.
Company card.
Can you drive a vehicle with a company card? This is where you get it wrong, and this is where I explain all the different cards. Well done. You can't. You drive on a tacho card, don't you? On a driver's tachograph card. A tachograph card is sometimes called a driver's card. It says at the top, driver card. Now, there's a tachograph card that you use, okay? There's one that the Garda use, so they can access any tachograph unit. There's one that the workshop uses, you know, the garage. So they can repair your tachograph unit. That's 3. And the last one is the company card. A company card is literally a key. You put it into the tachograph and you lock the tachograph so no one can download the information. You can still use it as a driver, but no one can come in and download the information, see what you've been up to, okay? And then when you want to download the information for your own records, you put in the card to unlock it, and then you put in the downloader and you download the information. So a company card is literally just a key. If I drive an analog vehicle, do I need a digital tacho driver card? Okay. I'm not sure if that question is correct. I rang the RSA and I got through to a supervisor, and they don't write me emails because when they send me an email, I've got proof against them. So what they do is they ring me. So you can't prove anything. I had a conversation once with an RSA senior supervisor, and they told me you only have to download once every 21 days. Remember, which is wrong, which I proved since. And then this lady rang me back a week later and said, no, I was wrong. It's only 28 days. And she said some stupidness about 21 days in emergency or special occasion. Whatever she was talking was pure rubbish anyway. But because it was on the phone, I have no proof. Anyway, I was speaking to a different supervisor this day, and he said, if you're driving analog, you don't technically need to have a digital tachograph card. But then I've read in other places, as a professional bus driver or truck driver, you must have a tachograph card.
I got stopped by the Gardaí driving with an analog tachograph, and they asked me for my digital tachograph card.
Exactly. So when that RSA senior supervisor told me no, I put that question in here, but I believe the answer is yes. You still need a tachograph card. What did he say to you when he stopped you?
Yes, then.
When he asked for your card, did you have it with you?
Yeah, I did have it with me.
Yeah.
Because he said legally all professional drivers have to have a digital tachograph card, whether they're driving a digital tachograph or an analog.
That's what I think as well. So I just think that RSA supervisor misinformed me again. Okay. What time of day denotes UTC?
What's UTC?
Universal Time Continuum.
Yeah.
On your tachograph chart, sorry, on your tachograph unit, you have the local time at the front that you can see, but then it has UTC time in the background. So if you drive from here to France or Paris, that's an hour in front. Is it an hour behind? I forget. But say it's an hour ahead, it'll be messing up your tachograph the whole time, wouldn't it? So the time in the background has to stay constant. So UTC time is the time in the background. Now it's handy for us because UTC time is also Greenwich Mean Time, which is our local time. Okay? So UTC time is the constant time running in the background of the unit. Does that make sense, everyone, yeah?
Yeah.
So if you're starting off here in the background, it will say 6 o'clock. And what you're looking at will say 6 o'clock. But when you go to France and you stop and then you wake up the next day, actually you wouldn't change your time, would you? Or maybe you would. But anyway, UTC time is the time in the background which stays constant. Analog tachographs must be inspected. Inspected and tested, the same thing. Inspected every 2 years, calibrated every 6 years. Digital is 1 and 2 years. If two drivers intend to use the same vehicle, what should the driver do?
Hit the wrong one.
The driver always goes into slot 1. Okay? And the co-driver, the person not driving, goes into slot 2. Okay? Most people who watch these videos like and subscribe. I'd like to say thank you.